Hey guys, today is a special SUPERBOOTH edition video with new module announcements. First of all, we're entering one new format with 3 new modules, namely the Cockpit, the Milky Way and the Golden Master. And as you know, we always strive for highly effective and performance-oriented modules, and one new format helps us do exactly that. This way you can keep your case size to the minimum without sacrificing any of the functionality. These one new modules don't only fit perfectly inside of your Intellijel 1U row, but they also utilize all of the I/O connectivity, such as the mix in, mix out, which is useful for daisy chaining these modules. And additionally, you can connect them to the 1/4-inch TRS outputs and inputs on your Intellijel case. As you can see, all 3 modules have fully redesigned horizontal UI, which improves your general patch ergonomics, as all of the inputs and outputs are positioned on the bottom and all of the controls are on the top, making it easier to navigate through your patch jungle. Cockpit 1U is our 24 HP 4-channel stereo mixer with sidechain DACing. By looking at the front panel, the first thing you will notice is that channel 1 has a stereo input and channels 2, 3 and 4 have dual mono inputs with left one normal to the right. This makes it easier to use with your other stereo eurorack modules. On top of that, we have 4 white label fields for each of the channels, and you can use those to write the names of your channel strips with a permanent marker. The sidechain and the stereo output master sections are exactly the same as in our 3U Cockpit module, but now with the 1U version we have extra connections such as the aux in, mix out, which can be used to chain multiple modules with the DuPont cable like this, and the stereo balanced line output can be used to route the master out of your module straight to the TRS jacks with the 6-pin cable. Milky Way is our most popular effects processor module, and now it's available in 1U format and only 22 HP. This module features 16 different effects ranging from reverbs, delays, flangers, chorus, distortion, compressors and others. And additionally, you have features such as crossfade and panning for the 2 input signals that can be controlled with CV. The master output has been redesigned with stereo jacks, which means that your outputs are now pseudo-balanced and can be used as your main master output. As with other 1U modules, we have one extra connection on the back called stereo output, which can be used to chain this module with other modules that have the aux-in connection, such as the Cockpit or Golden Master, or you can also use this to route the audio output of this module straight to the Audio IO board on your Intellijel case. By the way, the noise issues that were previously present in our first small batch of the 3U Milky Ways have been fully eliminated a long time ago with a new hardware redesign. So if you're having issues with your old Milky Ways, please write to us in support and we'll help you to sort this out. Golden Master is our unique and one-of-its-kind eurorack stereo multiband processor. It is now available in 1U and 22 HP. For anyone who hasn't seen our review and comparison video, you can watch it over here. But for the 1U module, as always, we have extra connections on the back, such as the aux-in, stereo out, which is the mix out, and finally we have the stereo balance output with the 6-pin connector that routes the audio output of this module straight to the 1/4-inch TRS jacks on your Intellijel case, making it ready for stage or live performance. All 3 modules are already in production and will be available in October via your favorite retailers. Now we're going to build a dream live performance case, and for that purpose we have chosen this 4U Intellijel case so that we can fit all of the 1U modules. And if you're new to eurorack, don't you worry, as we're going to show you how to connect everything, and by the end of the video you will have all the knowledge you need to build your own perfect case. Before you start building your own physical case, we recommend using Modulargrid to sketch your layout. Modulargrid is your online virtual rack organizer where you can find any module you can imagine and add it into your rack. You can see if it fits in size or power consumption, and it's also a marketplace where you can trade your modules. Here we have this 104 HP 4U system, and you can find the link to this rack in the description. So now let's start populating this rack with modules, and since the bus board is right behind the 1U row, if we put the 1U modules first, it will be really hard to get access to the bus board with the 3U modules. So for that reason, we'll start with the 3U row. First, let's start by connecting the ribbon cables to the power bus, and since the ground control is going to be on the right side and all the signal flow will go to the left side, we'll first have to connect the 16 to 16 female cable. So let's start off by doing that, and as you can see, it's not the most pleasing process, but we have to do it. All the other modules that will be in the case will have the 10 to 16 cable, so let's connect that and make sure to leave some space on the busboard for the 1U row, as then it will be really hard and annoying to disassemble everything to put the busboard cables. Now let's start connecting the ribbon cables for the 1U row, and this way, if they're already connected, it will be much easier later on, as you won't have to take out anything of the 3U row. It is very important to mind the polarity of the power bus cable when connecting the modules to the case. Our modules come with this plastic header, so it is practically impossible to connect it the wrong way, but many other modules in the wild don't have it, so what you have to do is line up the red stripe on your cable, in our case it is the red-brown stripe, with a line written on the panel. Like so, we have to connect them, and as you can see it slides right in, and it means that the module is connected properly. Now let's position it inside the case, connect the power, and test that it powers on. Everything is perfect, so we can continue with the next modules. The next module that we will connect to the case is the 2 of cups, which is our 2-channel sampler player. It comes with the 10-pin input over here, and we just connect the cable like in the previous module, place it inside the system, and test if it turns on. As you can see, the blue LED is blinking, the buttons are working, it means that the module has powered on, and this technique of powering modules once you plug them in is very useful if you're trying to build a larger system, because for example, if one of your bus cables is plugged in correctly, for example, it will freeze one module, but it can also freeze your whole system, and you will not know which module to troubleshoot. So it's always best to plug everything one by one, and that way you're not going to have any problems in the future. The next module is Queen of Pentacles, which is our 7-voice hybrid drum machine. Let's position it in the case the same way. As you can see, it comes with the 10-pin header. Let's plug it in, put it inside of the case, and test the power. As you saw, LED blinked. The buttons are working as well, so everything works. As you can see, I'm not fixing the modules with the screws just yet, as that is usually best to do once you have your full layout and you made sure everything is working. And also, the cases that have these threaded strips, if you start screwing each module in, the last one might be difficult to position, as the threaded strips will not line up correctly and the module will just simply not fit in. Now that we have the sequencer, the sampler, and the drum machine connected, I would like to add something for hands-on control and utility purposes, and for that we have the total recall. Let's connect it to the case, the same way as with other modules. See if it powers on. All LEDs light up, everything is good. What is missing now in our case is a simple analog voice, and for that reason we'll start by connecting our Godspeed oscillator. Everything works fine, we can move on to the next module. Next, we will need to process our signal from the Godspeed oscillator, and we'll use our Squawk Dirty stereo filter. And last but not least, we need some way to control the volume of our oscillator, and for that reason we'll use the Airstreamer AD envelope. As you can see, we now have this 2 HP gap, and to close it, we'll use this 2 HP blind panel, which you can also use to write anything you want with the permanent marker. Now that we have our mono voice ready, we're still missing some effects, and for that reason we'll connect the Milky Way right above our voice. So let's connect it with the ribbon cable and position it inside of here, like so. This is why 1U row is so great, as you can always fit extra things, being utility, effects, sequencers, or anything you want, while not having space inside of your 3U row. Now what we are missing is a mixer that will handle all of these voices, and for that we'll use 2 cockpits in 1U format and chain them together to have a total of 8 stereo or mono channels. To chain 2 cockpits together, we'll have to use this kind of DuPont cable, which is a female to female, and you can find these online on Amazon, on eBay, or anywhere else. First we'll have to check where the mix out is and where the aux in input is. As you can see, we'll patch this cockpit to this one, and we'll have the mix out, which is these 3 pins, and the aux in, which is these 3 pins. So this is fairly easy. All you have to make sure is that you connect it the same way on one module as on the other. So the first one is always brown, and first one is always brown here. So let's connect these. One side connected. Now let's match the brown as the first one over here, so it goes red, brown, orange. Now we can place these modules inside of the rack like this, but first we have to connect all the 10-pin ribbon cables. One for the first one, and one for the second one. Now our modules are chained together, so the master output of this one will be mixed with the master output of this module. Now the final module in this puzzle is going to be the golden master, as we'll use it to process the entire signal of our system, to EQ it, to compress it a bit, and be ready for stage. Apart from connecting this module to the case using the power bus cable, we'll also chain it with the output of the second cockpit, which is a sum of 8 channels, and we'll also route the output of this module using the 6-pin cable like this to the 1/4-inch TRS jacks on the Audio I/O board. We continue to use similar DuPont cables to chain the cockpit to the golden master, so let's take 3 of them like this. And as you can see, they all stay together, so it's easier to manage. Let's take out this cockpit. Now let's find the aux-in connector on the golden master. It's right over here. Connect this cable. Now the chain is connected, and we have to use the 6-pin ribbon cable to connect it from the output over here, the blue one. Let's plug it in. And now you'll have to find a similar input on the Intellijel I/O board and connect it over there. That means that the master output of this module will be routed straight to the 1/4-inch output. You have an option to connect these 6 pins to either outputs 1, 2 or 3, 4. But personally, I prefer to use 3, 4 for outputs and 1, 2 for inputs, so we'll connect this to the second 6-pin connector. To access those 6 pins, let's take out the ground control and put it over here. Now this is a bit easier. Let's take this golden master. The last thing left is the power ribbon cable. Let's connect it. And position all the modules inside of the 1U row. We still have some gaps left on the 1U row, and for that reason we are also introducing the 1U blank panels that are available in 4 or 6 HP, and you can find them in our merch store, and the link will be available in the description. Let's position the first one over here. Second one will come right after Milky Way. Then we have a chain of 2 cockpits, and we don't really need to separate them with any blank panels, so that it's a bit more easy to see that it's one mixer now, and another one over here. Now let's run the last power test and see that everything is working correctly. As you can see, LED is lit up here, all channels are lit up over here, and this one is working as well. Now that everything is working, we can start fixing the modules inside of the case using the screws, and for that we'll be using the fucking Knurlies, as it is very convenient since you don't have to use any screwdriver and you can just tighten them with your hands. We recommend to not fix every bolt too tightly when you're just starting to fill in the bolts, because at the end it might be a little bit hard to line up every module, but once everything is there and every bolt is inside of the hole, then you can start fixing them with your hands. But if you're going to travel, we really recommend using the screwdriver, as that will make sure that they will not get loose during travel. Now let's put some adapters to the outputs 3 and 4. And these two outputs are going straight to the Zoom recorder. It will be fully unprocessed, so you will hear the raw sound of the system. For a proper balanced connection, we're going to be using these blue stereo TRS cables. But if you're playing on stage, we recommend using fat 1/4-inch jacks, which will make sure the connection is more secure for the mixing board on stage. The last announcement for today is we have new packs of cables available with 16 fixed length 50 cm cables with gold plating and beautiful blue color. Now let's unpack them, and we'll use these to sketch a quick jam on this system. As you can see, these cables can reach from one end of the case to another, so this is all you really need for middle-sized cases like this. So now that everything is patched, the macro controls are ready, let's quickly have a small jam. Hope this video was useful and informative for you, and if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like to stay up to date with our future content.